It was just how deadly they were in the entirety. It wasn't that we had more than normal. 550 direct fatalities. An odd thing there in red that often we see the fatalities, the big percentages are in mobile homes or people in cars. It was destroying permanent buildings in 2011 and businesses that were taking us sort of back to those Stone Age years, as I was talking about. The 3 deadliest tornadoes in the U.S. since 1957 all occurred in 2011, the Joplin, and then 2 tornadoes in Alabama in the April 27th outbreak. The month of April as a whole, I just went down the list there by calendar day. There's 14 days there, that each of which had 10 or more tornadoes on them. So about half of the days had at least what I would call a small outbreak with 20 tornadoes, and a bunch of those had big outbreaks with 20 or more tornadoes. The grand finale almost, the 27th, 28th there with well over 200 tornadoes. Through the 30th of June, the year to date at that point had smashed the old record of the number of tornadoes for the year, and the largest tornado outbreak on record of any outbreak in the U.S. with 293 or about that on the 26th through the 28th. 1,881 tornado warnings for the country in April. That's a lot of warnings. Just a preliminary map of some of that 2011 super outbreak. It was mostly down in the Gulf Coast states, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia. Worked its way then into the nighttime hours up into some of the Virginia and even up into Pennsylvania area. A number of EF5 tornadoes there, Smithfield, Mississippi, and Philadelphia, Mississippi, Hackleburg, Alabama, Rainsville, Alabama. The one that got the most notoriety was a rated 4 that went through the Tuscaloosa and Birmingham areas. So very, very devastating. Fortunately, most of these tornadoes were daytime, or perhaps the fatality toll would have been even worse because the fatality rates tend to go up when the tornadoes hit at night. Over 200, close to 300 tornadoes, 316 fatalities in that outbreak, the most for any outbreak since 1925, when a big tri-state tornado and a few others went through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana. 2,600 plus miles of path, huge wide tornadoes. So they were big tornadoes, long-lived tornadoes, wide path tornadoes that hit a lot of places, over 18 states, and caused a lot of damage. So we had a lot of strong and violent tornadoes that led to the death toll, and they struck populated areas. The most of these rated 4 and 5 tornadoes that we had in any year since 1974, when we had the first of what we call these super outbreaks. Debris balls, I'll show a lot of those, the balls of intense debris on radar, and a good part of the talk will focus on that and what they mean, and including the Springfield, Massachusetts tornado. So here in the left there is the debris ball. You see the purple core here in the color scheme. Most of the body of the storm, it's a supercell thunderstorm. The whole thunderstorm tends to rotate counterclockwise and spirals its precipitation pattern into this, what is usually called the hook echo. But then even here, a purple dot, the most intense return of all, is not hail, it's from debris being tossed up as the tornado is going over the portion of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Here I've taken a slice through and just highlighted the strongest return. And so as you go up in height, it's sort of the cone of the funnel itself emanating up is a little bit of a gap where the radar doesn't see right down near the ground, but then extending up 10 or 15,000 feet aloft, you're seeing basically the radar depiction of the tornado and the debris being carried up in that. So I tend to call that a debris ball, or technically tornado debris signature. And now, so when we see those, and I saw so many of those in 2011, that gives us a little bit more confidence that a destructive tornado is in progress. And now we have the new dual pole data that gives us yet a little bit more familiarity. So as that tornado came into Tuscaloosa and began to intensify, it started out as being a little bit rain-wrapped. The tornado is here with the rain curtains out surrounding it, probably making the debris ball a little bit bigger, or that ball a little bit bigger than what was totally debris. A couple of our Weather Channel Storm Riders team were chasing in Alabama because this had been a pretty well anticipated tornado outbreak. This then took Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This is pretty much the exact same areas before and after. And so here you see the parking lot, and a building just to the north of that. Here is that parking lot, and there is just the foundation with pieces of it that have been cast off to the northeast. So that one, for example, was rated enhanced Vegeta scale 4. You can go